Oh my gosh. I do not believe what I've just seen. Southampton, right? Do you know that one of their backroom staff has been found guilty of spying on Middlesbrough's training session before the first leg of their playoff semi-final? Well, guess what? Previously, Southampton were going to be in the playoff final because they won the second leg 2-1 after extra time. But now they have been kicked out. Let's go. That is absolute justice for Middlesbrough, that is. That is justice for them. The EFL made the right decision in the end. They've kicked Southampton out, the right thing to do. I thought Southampton were going to get away with it. But now it's going to be Hull City against Middlesbrough in the playoff final. And basically there's going to be so many fans happy about the decision, but there's also going to be other fans that's going to be really upset about it. But you can't blame it on the EFL, like some fans are going to be upset whatever happens. But the Southampton fans are going to be really upset about it because a load of their fans have had tickets booked for the playoff final. They would have already have booked their hotels, got their train tickets, only for them to be kicked out of the playoff final, and none of it's going to happen. Wow, goodness me. I mean, poor Hull City as well. They've been in the middle of all of it. Throughout this entire time, they didn't even know who they were going to play against in the playoff final. So for Hull City, it's a big inconvenience for them. Yeah, there's going to be complaints, whoever wins the playoff final as well, because if Middlesbrough win the playoff final, there'll be complaints from the Hull City fans. That's Hull City were preparing to play Southampton in the final and tried to nullify their tactics, only to play a different team instead. But whereas if Hull City win the final, Middlesbrough fans will be complaining about the fact that they've had less time to prepare for the Championship playoff final. Whereas Hull City knew that they were going to be in the final from the moment that they beat Millwall. Whereas Middlesbrough only had 4 days to prepare for it. Yeah, it's a really big decision from the EFL in the end. But I do think it's the right decision. I mean, I've read it on BBC Sports. And also, Southampton were caught spying on Ipswich Town and Oxford United's training sessions. That is absolutely unbelievable. I can't believe the EFL didn't notice it until now. Really, the EFL just should have given us 2 points because Southampton got a draw out of us in the end. And they were spying on us before that game. Well, it won't make much of a difference for us. Not for us, because basically we would have still been second anyway, but if Southampton didn't spy on any teams, they might not even have been in the playoffs in the first place. And I've been hearing Southampton manager Eckert complain about it. That's basically he was saying, "Oh, well, we do it all the time in Germany. Well, why can't we do it in UK as well?" The rules are very different in the UK compared to the Germany, because in Germany, you're allowed to spy on other teams whenever you want. Any teams can do it in Germany, but in England it's very different. It is not allowed at all, and it just acts like a deterrent to all the other clubs. And that's one of the reasons why I think the EFL have made the right decision about it, so that other clubs will not do it again, because it has upsetted Southampton and Middlesbrough and even Hull City as well, and all the other teams in the Championship who have been wanting to watch the playoff final, and they've had to go through a big period of inconvenience. But I think the playoff final is still going to be played on the same dates. Yeah, that is absolutely crazy. I mean, it'll be an incredible story if Middlesbrough win the playoffs. it'll be absolutely incredible because, like, for a week they would think that they wouldn't even be in the playoff final. Well, the Middlesbrough boss certainly wasn't happy about it. He wanted Southampton out of the playoffs ever since Southampton beat them in the semi-final, which ended up being the case in the end. Now Middlesbrough are going to be in the playoff final. Yeah, like now the Middlesbrough fans will have to react quickly to book their tickets for the playoff final, because for a week and a bit all of them would have thought that Southampton will be in the playoff final, but yeah, now they're going to have to book hotels and tickets for the playoff final, I suppose, and they've only got 3 more days to do that. But it should be really interesting, and I think I want Hull City to be back in the Premier League actually. I really liked it when they were in the Prem last time, and it's been a decade since they've been there, and it will just be a brilliant story for Hull City, considering the fact that they were outside the playoffs going into the last game of the season. So yeah, I'd quite like Hull City to be back in the Premier League. But wow, this whole Spygate thing has just been absolutely ridiculous. I mean, like, it is all over the news now. It was just like only across the Championship when it was announced yesterday on Tuesday that Southampton got disqualified from the playoffs. I mean, yeah, like, it is going all across the world now. Like, that is probably one of the biggest decisions the EFL has ever made in the English game. Like, I know Leeds United did exactly the same thing in 2019, but they only got fined £200,000 for it. And basically, if you win the playoff final, you'll get around 150 million to spend for the Premier League season. So that is a really harsh punishment for Southampton. But not only that, they are going to have a 4-point deduction for next season, I just heard. So Southampton fans are certainly not going to be very happy about this decision. I mean, if you're a Middlesbrough fan, you'll be absolutely delighted about it, and if you're a Southampton fan, you'll be absolutely furious about it. But I reckon, as a neutral, as an Ipswich fan, I reckon it was the right decision in the end, so that other teams will not do it again. Yeah, like, I have never seen anything like this happen before. I mean, like, I am a big fan of playoffs from across all the divisions, but I have certainly not seen anything like it happen before. And I know, like, it happened to Leeds United 7 years ago, but they lost anyway, so that didn't matter in the end. I remember then they lost against Derby in the second leg. So Derby were in the playoff final, but Leeds United wouldn't. But Leeds United spied on them, and it didn't matter. So wow. Yeah, like, there's going to be a lot of talks from Middlesbrough fans, Southampton fans. Like, of course, like, some fans are going to be upset about it, but as a neutral, you would want the right decision to be made. And who knows, like, if Southampton played in the playoff final and won it, and got to the Premier League, and like, all the Premier League clubs will call Southampton cheats because of that Spygate incident. And yeah, also I heard that their manager is also going to be leaving because he was the one that got the entire Southampton team to spy on Middlesbrough's training sessions, and he got found guilty of that, and he admitted to the EFL that it was him that got the whole team to spy on Middlesbrough after all that. So he's going to be leaving at the end of the season, which is a huge blow for Middlesbrough, because they have done incredibly well under their new manager. And I remember at the start of the season, under Will Still, they were near the relegation zone, and apart from Tonda Eckert spying on other teams' training sessions, he has done an incredible job with Southampton, and I really do feel for him that he's going to be leaving the club. But he's done a brilliant job with Southampton. And if he was with Southampton at the start of the season, I reckon they would have got automatic promotion. Yeah, it's just how it is, really. Wow, like, this is just like drama right at its tops. It really is. I mean, like, I've watched a video on B9DRE saying that it should be Middlesbrough against Millwall for a playoff semi-final because both of them lost, and whoever wins that gets to play Hull City in the final. But I don't think there'll be enough time for that. I reckon just keep it how it is. I reckon just do Hull City against Middlesbrough in the final. And if Middlesbrough win it, then no one can complain about it because they got cheated. A lot of fans will complain about it because they lost against Southampton. But they could possibly have won that playoff game if Southampton didn't cheat on them, because they clearly got an advantage out of it. Because, like, what would be the point of spying on players if you're not going to get an advantage for it? Because so they clearly got an advantage from that, and they only won it after extra time in the end. It was a really close game, so Middlesbrough could have won that without Southampton's cheating. So yeah, so it's quite right that the EFL puts Middlesbrough in the final in the end. Yeah, I wonder what like players Middlesbrough lose if they lose the playoff final. I'd imagine Hayden Hackney, which was why I was happy that Middlesbrough lost the playoff semi-final in the first place, because it was possible that we can sign Hayden Hackney. Because we were trying to sign him at the start of the season, but he went to Middlesbrough in the end, and he's been incredible for Middlesbrough. And I think he got injured in March, actually, and then Middlesbrough went on an awful run of results, which was what cost them in the end. But if they carried on their form until the end of the season, they could have got a top 2 finish, and we would have been in the playoffs instead, which would have been a real disaster for us. But luckily, we made the top 2 in the end, and then all of the other playoff teams have to be involved with all the drama. Well, yep. That's Southampton kicks out of the playoffs for spying on Middlesbrough's training session. Good job, EFL. You've made the right decision in the end. Can't complain about it. Quite a lot of other fans will complain, but quite a lot of them will be upset about it. But hopefully that'll give other teams a lesson that you should not spy on another team's training session. Well, I wonder what's going to happen in the playoff final now. It's just going to be absolutely heated. It's going to be after all the drama of a few days ago. Well, yeah, let's see what happens in the playoff final. Come on, justice for Middlesbrough.